Hey, what is going on, guys? It is hard today. I have two NBA player props I'd like for tonight's game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Heat and Celtics. Going to be breaking down these two props, why I like them, all the good stuff in this video. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Do appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys in this breakdown. Before we get into the breakdown, just want to say follow me on Twitter at HeartDFS. Check out my NBA DFS breakdown for DraftKings if you guys do play that. I have a video out for that right now. And recapping the picks from the other day, we went 1-1. We went with the Jimmy Butler over fantasy score, which hit, and then we went with the Malcolm Brogdon over 19.5 PRA, which unfortunately did not hit. As I said, 1-1. Jimmy hit the over fantasy score, and then Malcolm Brogdon unfortunately played his worst game of the season. He only played 17 minutes, went 1-5. His injury is actually really affecting him, which they did not say until tonight, or excuse me, last night. So yeah, a little annoying that we get the worst game of the season from Brogdon because he's dealing with that injury. But looking to go 2-0 tonight. We are 9-3 overall in the Eastern Conference Finals, or excuse me, in the conference finals. So still a great streak there, great record. If you're just betting these on PrizePicks, or if you want to bet them on just straight up sports books, you're securing yourself a profit. 9-3, 75% hit rate. So yeah, looking to continue that into tonight. Hopefully go 2-0 and raise that hit rate closer to 80% for these conference finals. But yeah, the first one I have for you guys today here. Well, I guess first off, want to jump into the spread here for this game. So let's just jump back real fast. 8-point spread, 215.5 game total. This game is playing. The game's at Boston, so I do think there is some blowout risk. The Heat are without Gabe Vincent. That's the big news there. So with him out, I do think that's a huge loss for the Heat. It's one less guard in their rotation, which they really don't have many guards at all. So I think they will replace Gabe Vincent with probably Caleb Martin. He will start, and then Kyle Lowry will play massive minutes off the bench. He's already seen close to 30 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if he sees closer to 35. I know he's kind of old. They like to limit him a little bit to about 30 minutes, but they're going to really need him because they have zero other guards off the bench. They'll probably throw in Hayward Highsmith for probably 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 at most. But yeah, right now we're not getting too many props for the Miami Heat right now, which is a little annoying just because they have Bam, Jimmy, Strus, Martin, and Love. So pretty much they have the starting five, but they don't have any of the other guys like Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, stuff like that. So a little frustrating, but yeah, I have two props for you guys today. We're going to be getting into the first one here. So for the first one, I'm going to go over to the fantasy score of Bam Adebayo here. 34 fantasy score. Going to take the over here for Bam. As we can see, past 3 out of 5 he's hit it. The past 2 games have gone poorly. Let's take a look into why they have gone poorly. So 2 games ago, it was a massive blowout. 128 to 102. I don't think that he played much of the third, and he did not play any of the fourth because of the blowout there. So he lost about 10 minutes there, if not closer to 12 minutes. So pretty much a whole quarter of run for Bam. And he was doing well. 4-5, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, a steal, and 22 fantasy points. So yeah, I mean, he was probably on pace to go over. Just one of those things where the game blew out, did not get the minutes. Now, this last game, Bam was actually pretty bad. Efficient from the floor, 4-7, but I think he only took 1 shot in the second half. Was clearly not involved in the offense at all. It took him until like the last few minutes of the first half to even get his first points. He had 0 shot attempts in the first quarter. Just was completely uninvolved. Not really sure what the game plan was there. And it obviously did not work because they ended up getting blown out there from the third quarter into the fourth. So he played the minutes. Obviously, the shot attempts were not there. No assists. His rebounding numbers were down. Scoring numbers were down. So just overall, just not a good game from Bam in game 4. And for the Heat as a whole, they all just kind of struggled. So expecting a bounce back here for Bam. Expect him to get close to his normal minutes, which right now in the playoffs is about 39 minutes. I'd expect maybe this gets even bumped up a little bit more just because without Gabe Vincent, obviously Gabe Vincent's a guard, but I do think they're going to raise up the minutes for all of these starters. They're going to have to because they really don't have a bench to go to. As I said, they'll probably bring in Hayward Highsmith off as the kind of the extra man now that there's no Vincent, but still, I think they're going to bump up the minutes to Jimmy, Bam, Kyle Lowry, Gabe Vincent, and then I think the people that get rotated out will be just Kevin Love, Duncan, and Strus. I think those are the 3 guys that they'll just kind of rotate out along with Highsmith, and then they'll play the rest just huge minutes. So I think we can see close to 40 minutes for Bam tonight, which he should easily hit the over there of fantasy score. As you can see, he's averaged close to 40 fantasy points per game on the season, and that's with a few minutes less per game during the regular season than now in the playoffs, where he's seeing close to 40 minutes a game. So I like him to be super involved in this offense, super aggressive from the start. They really, really need him. I expect the ball to be in his hands a little bit more as well. They're going to be throwing him up top to the key. So I do like Bam here. He's pretty solid with Kyle Lowry in the pick and roll as well. So yeah, I think Bam's pretty solid. And if he gets the minutes, this should be an easy over for him fantasy score wise. And as we know, blocks and steals count as 3 fantasy points each on PrizePicks, and he's getting almost close to a block per game as well as close to a steal per game as well. So that really helped out the fantasy score. Liking Bam right now. Only downside is that this game could be a blowout, which would suck, obviously. But I like the over there for Bam. And the second over I like is going to be here for Al Horford, 22 fantasy score. Another fantasy score line that does seem pretty low. So we'll go to Al Horford right now. We'll pull up his chart here. As you can see, he's hit it in the past 3 out of 5. Let's take a look of why. So pulling up Al Horford over here on his box score. Where'd he go? Right there. As we can see, last game, he easily hit it. He went for 30. He went for 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 block. As we know, on PrizePicks, 3 points each for a block and a steal, and 0 turnovers. So Al Horford last game easily hit it in 25 minutes. Didn't shoot the ball a ton. Dealt with some foul trouble. Lost out on some minutes and easily hit the over. Game before that, obviously huge blowout. Just overall as a team, they did not perform well. As you can see, he only played 19 minutes. Usually in close games, he should be playing close to low to mid 30s. That's kind of his normal minute mark. Obviously, since the start of the Miami series, it's just been a struggle for him offensively. So if we look at the first game, 32 minutes, which is great, but 1 of 5 from 3, 3 of 8 overall, 7-6-2 with 3 steals, which really helped out. Would have got him his over there on the fantasy score. Obviously, game 2, just really struggled. 1 of 5, 0 of 3 overall. His points were down, rebounding the numbers were down, assists were down. Still got 2 blocks, which is huge, but obviously just did not do much offensively. Same thing with game 3. Just kind of struggled offensively. The game blew out, so the starters did not get any in the third quarter or even any fourth quarter run. So he lost out on a ton of minutes there. And obviously, when he got back to the mid 20s minutes, when it was a close game, he actually did very well. 3 of 6 from 3. So he's shown that he's going to be super aggressive from 3, even if he's not hitting it. So I like him to be super aggressive once again. Expect him to shoot, probably 5+ threes in this game. Obviously, if he hits them, it's huge because it's not like they're posting him up. But he's one of those guys who can easily hit it the over just with his rebounding assists, blocks, and steals. He stuffs the stat sheet. He can go for 10+ rebounds. He can go for a couple assists. He can go for multiple steals and blocks. He's leading the playoffs so far without Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis was at 55 stocks combined in the playoffs. Al Horford is in second place with, I think, 44. So now that Anthony Davis is out of the playoffs, obviously with only 3 teams left, Al Horford's leading the way there with stocks. So I do really like him, obviously, because there's 3 points each with blocks and steals. And he's been, pretty solid at them in the entire series, in the entire playoffs, in the entire season. So, yeah, I like Al Horford to step up here. He should see close to 30 minutes, if not a few more, if he's staying out of foul trouble and if this game is close. So I do think this fantasy score line is a little bit too low there for Al Horford, a guy who can stuff the stat sheet and can do a little bit of everything. So those are the 2 picks for today. Obviously, there's some risks, so I do think I'm going to play light tonight just because I'm not loving the fact that Gabe Vincent's out. I do want to see how Miami kind of responds here. It does feel like Boston's gaining a little bit of momentum. So for this reason alone, I do say play light tonight, guys. It's 8-point spread. Not really sure how that Gabe Vincent news is going to affect Miami. So I'd say just play light. Just try to enjoy the game. I'm going to be playing light on this, and I will see you guys in the next video. So make sure to hit that like button. I'll see you guys later. Peace.